ജയവുമായി പോയിടാം നാം യേശുവിനായി സാക്ഷികളായിടാം. പോയിടാം നാം.
A reading from the book of Judges, chapter 7. Then Jerubbaal and all the troops that were with him rose early and encamped beside the spring of Harod, and the camp of Midian was north of them, below the hill of Moreh in the valley. The Lord said to Gideon, "The troops with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hand." Israel would only take the credit away from me, saying, "My own hand has delivered me." Now therefore proclaim this in hearing of the troops, "Whoever is fearful and trembling, let him return home." Thus Gideon shifted them out. 22,000 returned and 10,000 remained. The Lord said to Gideon, "The troops are still too many. Take them down to the water, and I will shift them out for you there. When I say this, one shall go with you, he shall go with you. And when I say, this one shall not go with you, he shall not go." So he brought the troops down to the water, and the Lord said to Gideon, "All those who lap the water with their tongues, as a dog laps, you shall put the one aside. All those who kneel down to drink, putting their hands to their mouth, you shall put the other side." The number of those that lapped with 300, but all the rest of the troops knelt down to drink water. Then the Lord said to Gideon, "With the 300 that lapped, I will deliver you and give you the Midianites into your hand. Let all others go to their homes." So he took the jars of the troops from their hands and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel back to their own tents, but retained the 300. The camp of Midian was below him in the valley. The same night the Lord said to him, "Get up, attack the camp, for I have given it into your hands. But if you fear to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah, and you shall hear what they then say, and afterwards your hands shall be strengthened to attack the camp." Then he went down with his servant Purah to outpost of the arms men that were in the camp. The Midianites and the Amalekites and all the people of the east lay along the valley as thick as locusts, and their camels were without number, countless as the sand on the seashore. When Gideon arrived, there was a man telling a dream to his comrade, and he said, "I have a dream, and in it a cake of barley bread tumbed into the camp of Midian, and came to the tent and struck it so that it fell. It turned upside down, and the tent collapsed." And his comrade answered, "This is no other than the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, a man of Israel. Into his hands God has given Midian and all his army." When Gideon heard the telling of the dream and its interpretation, he worshipped, and he returned to camp of Israel and said, "Get up, for the Lord has given the army of Midian into your hands." After he divided the 300 men into 3 companies and put trumpets into the hands of all of them, and the empty jars with torches inside the jars, he said to them, "Look at me and do the same when I come to the outskirts of the camp. Do as I do. When I blow the trumpet, I and all who are with me, then you all blow the trumpets around the world camp and shout for the Lord and for Gideon." So Gideon and 100 who were with him came to the outskirts of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch. When they had set the watch, and they blew the trumpet and smashed the jars with their hands. So the 3 companies blew the trumpet and broke the jar, holding in their left hand and torches, and in their right hand the trumpets to blow. And they cried, "A sword of the Lord and for Gideon." Every man stood in his place all around the camp, and all the men in the camp ran. They cried out and fled. When they blew the 300 trumpets, the Lord set man's sword against his fellow and against all the army. And the army fled as far as Bethsita towards Zererah. as far as the border of Abel Meholah by Tabath, and the men of Israel were called out from Naphtali, and from the Asher, and from all Manasseh, and they pursued after Midianites. Then Gideon sent messengers throughout all the hill country of Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites and seize the water against them, as far as Bethbara and also the Jordan. So all the men of Ephraim were called out, and they seized the water as far as Bethbara and also the Jordan. They captured the two captains of Midian, Oreb and Zeb. They killed Oreb at the rock of Oreb and Zeb. They killed at winepress of Zeb. As they pursued the Midianites, they brought the hands of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon beyond Jordan. This is the Lord.